Hello, my name is Eric Putkonen. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm talking about the body is like a whirlpool. Now, what is a whirlpool exactly? It is a fairly consistent form maintained by the river and its surroundings. The whirlpool is not other than the river. The whirlpool totally consists and is made up of just river. There's water flowing into it, there's water flowing out of it. It is considered, or we like to think of it as it being its own entity, so to speak. But a whirlpool is not other than the river itself. It's not separate. The water flowing in, the water flowing out, it's all just river. And I think this non-separation, non-otherness from the river that a whirlpool has is very similar to our bodies. Now, the reason I'm going into this concept is to potentially soften or weaken our idea of separation. Because so many people see the skin as the line of demarcation, as this is the line between me and other than me. And we can look at the body in a different way. What is the body? Well, first of all, it's made of cells. Lots and lots of cells. In order to survive, we need to take in food. And so there's this stream of food, this stream of matter coming into the body. And this stream includes tributaries and cricks of orchards and potato fields and perhaps herds of cows and chickens and everything else. All this is flowing into the body from all these different sources, all these different originations, cornfields and potato fields and stuff all over the country perhaps, is flowing into the body to maintain all the cells. And it flows out as excrement. And so there is a flow in and out. And it's processed in the body and maintains all the cells of the body. But all the cells of the body do die off and are replaced. I mean, science has said every 7 years or so, all the cells of the body are replaced. So the body is not a permanent thing. It's not something I've had since the beginning when I was born. I mean, I'm turning 50 here next month. And that means it's gone through probably 7 iterations. So 7 bodies ago is the original body that I was born with. And so the cells have been swapped out 7 times over for me. The form, somewhat consistent. Much like a whirlpool. It's somewhat consistent, the form. But that which is flowing in and out, it's not other than that which is flowing in and out. And so this body has a flow of matter, food coming in, flow of matter, excrement going out. And the parts of itself is being replaced. In this case, this body 7 times over. And so, how can you say it's really separate? And that's not even looking at day to day. I mean, skin cells, not just are the body cells being replaced, but skin cells are coming off all the time. Hairs are coming off all the time. Fingernails are growing and being cut all the time. And so, when you vacuum the floors and you see all that white dust or whatever that you sometimes see in vacuums, most of that's just dead skin. That's from all the bodies that have been in the residence. So you, your family, or if you live by yourself, just you, that's the body that you're vacuuming up. I mean, sure, we tramp in some dirt and debris from the outside, but much of what we're cleaning up is the body falling apart leaving bits of itself as it walks around. Some might not think of that as a pleasant thought, but this whirlpool we call a body is not a fixated, constant thing. It is a somewhat consistent pattern maintained by a flow of matter that we call food. And it doesn't stay. The flow of matter continues out as excrement. It leaves bits of itself wherever it goes, just like a whirlpool, especially if it's a particularly, violent one, so to speak. Not really violent, but very active whirlpool might be splattering out drops of water. The whirlpool might be so violent that drips of, spray is coming off. Well, likewise, skin and hair is spraying off this body. And so I find that when it comes to, similarities, the body and the whirlpool is very similar. And my point is, just like a whirlpool is not other than the river, it's not really separate than the river. This body is not separate or other than the stream that's maintaining it, that being the river of food and matter coming into the body. And that river of food coming from all of the creeks and tributaries of cornfields and potato fields and cow farms and and chicken farms and you name it. It's coming to this point through and passing through, and with it taking dying or dead cells, and the body's being replaced. Now, a whirlpool gets replaced very quickly. All the water in the whirlpool gets replaced very quickly. The body's just a slower whirlpool. It takes 7 years or so for all the matter instead of water to be replaced. It's no more separate than a whirlpool is from the river. The whirlpool is one with the river, and this body is one with the river of matter that comes in. And not just matter, but also air and water. Water coming in from all over the place. Air coming in from all over the place. Which is just different forms of matter, really, if you think about it. But this whirlpool we call a body is not separate from all that. It is exactly the same as all that. It is just a pattern maintained by all of that. And so this might be a different way to consider or play with the idea of the body. It's more like a whirlpool, and that it's not a static, concrete, or stable thing. It's a fairly consistent pattern maintained by the supply of the river of matter, be it food, water, air. And so, I don't know, think about it like that. Because, playing with these concepts may weaken, especially if you can viscerally feel it, if you can deeply see the truth being pointed out. It may weaken the deeper concept or belief or assumption held within the body that, well, I am separate because of this. It's like, well, here's an opposing point of, I am not separate because of this. And so, play with it. But if you got any questions, comments, please post below. And until next time, thank you much.